Here's a news headline that I was not expecting. Could Trump and the federal government re-privatize federal student loans? So, if you're not familiar, all federal loans today are issued by the United States government. They're called direct loans for a reason because they directly come from the US government. However, until 2010, that wasn't the case. Before 2010, we had the FFEL loan program, which this loan program was private lenders, banks, anyone you could think of, credit unions could issue federal student loans and they would be insured by the government, but they'd be owned by the bank, lender, credit union, whoever issued the loan. And that's how the loan program existed until 2010 with some very rare exceptions. So today there is talk of re-privatizing our student loan program, and could that even happen? Well, not likely, but let's talk about it a little bit. So why is it not likely to happen? Number one is that there is 1.5 or so trillion dollars in federal student loans that are owned by the government. There's not a bank on earth that can buy that debt from it, and it would take maybe dozens or hundreds of banks to even buy parts of it to potentially own if we were to re-privatize the loans. But the banks don't want this debt. So as we talked about in a few videos ago, federal student loans don't make money. There are very rare instances when they are profitable, and Parent Plus loans are typically the only ones that are profitable. All the other ones, they lose money. So why would a bank want to buy a student loan that does not make them any money? Which gets us to the number two reason why they would probably not become private again, is that the federal government isn't going to save any money by privatizing them, because the only way that banks would buy them is, number one, they get a great discount on them, and so the government would sell it at a big loss. Number two is that the government's going to have to continue to subsidize and pay money towards these programs. Because if these banks did buy the loans, they would have to buy them with their existing terms and conditions that exist today. Just like if your mortgage gets sold to a new lender, the terms don't change. So all these banks would buy them, and the federal government would still be paying the bank back for student loan forgiveness and paying the bank back for defaults and all types of different things. So the federal government really does not stand to win by re-privatizing student loans that exist today. Now, there is a scenario, just like happened in 2010, where we say, hey, all new loans going forward are going to be a private loan, and all the existing loans today will continue to operate as normally. And that could happen. And in that case, it really is carte blanche what they could legislate and what they could do. They could say all future loans will give a little bit of an interest subsidy, will do different things, but it's really based on the legislation, and that's a big unknown. It's not very likely to happen, but it could. But for existing student loan holders, realize that even if there is talk about re-privatizing loans, nothing's going to change for you, because they would have to buy those loans at the current terms and conditions. If you want to know all the wonky details, if you want to know what this could look like, hit the link in our bio, check out the article, and we break it all down in even more depth.